Hello, how are you? If there's one food that really divides opinions when we talk about avoiding glucose spikes, avoiding blood sugar spikes, it's our daily bread, right? Of course, it's practical, accessible, delicious, but it's also one of the carbohydrates that raises our blood sugar the most. And many people get worried about eating bread and want to know more tips on how to avoid these spikes. I've put together a lot of interesting tips today that you can use before eating bread to avoid this imbalance. You're going to love it. Stay until the end. You won't want to miss it. Before we start, I want to ask you, which type of bread do you like the most? Write it for me down here in the comments. I'd love to see your answer. And remember to like this video. It really helps me on YouTube, and it helps you too because YouTube will understand that you enjoy this topic and will recommend more videos like this to you. Bread is a food that can be a bit tricky, right? Especially for those who are trying to control their blood sugar because usually white bread is made from refined flour. French rolls, for example, are basically just refined flour, yeast, and water. There's nothing else in it. So, it's a starch, a highly digestible carbohydrate. It breaks down very fast, moving quickly from the stomach to the intestine, where it turns into sugar in our bloodstream. So, it quickly raises blood glucose, the sugar in your blood. This can throw off your blood sugar very quickly, causing big spikes. We should try to do some simple steps in our daily routine that can lead to interesting results. The first thing has to do with how you eat this bread, how you prepare yourself beforehand. There are studies that have shown that when you freeze bread and then toast it, you can actually slow down the absorption rate of that carbohydrate. I even have an entire video talking about this here on the channel, and I'll leave it down below for you. But basically, when you get back from the store or bakery, freeze the bread. And when you're ready to eat it, you need to heat it up because it's frozen. Let it toast lightly because this helps make the starch more resistant, which is better for your metabolism. Another thing to consider before you start eating bread is portion size. Just because you're using these tricks, like adding certain foods or even the freezing and toasting hack, doesn't mean you have a free pass with bread. The amount you eat still counts. You still need to have a specific amount in mind because even if you do all of this, if you eat an entire baguette, your blood sugar is going to spike regardless. It'll go way up. Nothing can withstand that. It's going to spike a lot. So remember to say, I'm going to eat this piece, this many slices, and plan accordingly so you don't get caught off guard. Still on the topic of planning, choosing the best type of bread for you will also help because, for example, if you have a bread, check the label. That's important. I always tell you that. Sometimes one bread has 0 fiber while another has almost 3 grams. One bread has more protein than another. So all of that needs to be taken into account to avoid these spikes. Also remember that you can make your own bread at home. I have lots of healthy bread recipes, higher in fiber, lower in carbohydrates that can help you. And I'll leave them for you down below in the description. Another tip is about what you can consume about 10 to 15 minutes before actually eating the bread to help your metabolism prevent that spike. One important and interesting thing that always works is soluble fiber. And then we usually think of psyllium or chia, which are more practical. You can just add a little to water and take it about 10 or 15 minutes beforehand. In the case of psyllium, you can take a teaspoon in 1 glass of water, mix it well, and drink it. For chia, the amount varies a lot. It can be from a teaspoon up to a tablespoon, depending on your needs and the rest of your diet. You can also mix it with water and drink it in a glass. Because this soluble fiber, this mucilage, will hold more of that starch in the stomach and make it be released more gradually into your intestine. So, it can be a good alternative. Also, thinking about the metabolic aspect, apple cider vinegar can be a good option. I even have a video here on the channel talking more about the benefits of apple cider vinegar for blood sugar control because as a complement, it can help increase insulin sensitivity. So, if you also consume a tablespoon in a large glass of water 15 or 20 minutes beforehand, it can also help with insulin sensitivity. So, it can be an interesting complementary option. And another thing you can add 15 or 20 minutes beforehand, you're going to choose one thing, okay? You don't need to do all of this at the same time, please. Is to have an infusion that has some beneficial effect for blood sugar control, like cinnamon, hibiscus, chamomile, turmeric. I even have a video here on the channel talking more about the best infusions, the best teas for blood sugar control, and they can also be an interesting option. Remember, of course, that what you eat with bread makes all the difference. If you have a French roll with a little butter and drink it with orange juice, it's completely different. Because if you take a bread, even if it's a French roll, and add a bit of psyllium to it, then put in some lettuce, chicken, tomato, a healthy low-fat cheese. The protein, fiber, and healthy fats help lower the glycemic index and slow down the absorption of those carbs. It's a great option. So tuna, chicken, cheeses, and vegetables are good options to complement your bread. Remember that all these tips I'm giving you are related to the glycemic index. That is the speed at which carbohydrates are absorbed. It doesn't mean that the amount of carbohydrates will decrease, and that's a very important tip. The carbohydrate will still be there. What we're doing with these tips is making it so that it's absorbed more slowly. And avoid those spikes that are bad for our health. So remember, this doesn't give you a free pass to eat as much bread as you want, okay? And remember, if you have any questions about how to better organize your diet, talk to a nutritionist or doctor in your city. This video is for informational purposes only. And after you've already eaten the bread, remember not to just sit on the couch, not to be on your phone, or be completely inactive, okay? Studies have already shown that people who eat carbohydrates and then do some kind of activity, like going for a walk, it can even be inside the house, just going up and down the stairs, doing the dishes, folding some clothes, anything that gets you moving a bit, not staying completely still, helps improve glucose spikes and can be good for your control. Tell me, did you already know these tips about bread? And which one are you going to start putting into practice? I would love to see your comment. Remember to like the video, it really helps me out, and share it with someone who will enjoy it, someone who needs it. Let's work together to spread this chain of good. That's what I want here with the channel. See you next time. Bye.